In no other profession in our country could someone be found guilty by an independent process and just have their mates vote them back into the job. Surely the Prime Minister and his government are not going to do that today.
Howdy folks, greetings. So, avid viewers of my channel have probably heard me start videos with a very similar sentence to the one that I'm going to start this one with, and that is, surely this has got to be the one to bring down the Tories and get people to stop voting for them. It never bloody is though, is it? It never is. So, Owen Paterson, paid consultant for Lynns Country Food and Randox Healthcare. He lobbied government officials and ministers for these companies and got paid 100 grand for the pleasure of doing it. Now, is this really a shock to anyone listening? I mean, were people generally really shocked that this sort of stuff goes on? And you know what? I don't blame him, because he's a snake, and a snake's always going to be a snake. What I blame is the laws that are in place to allow people to get away with this stuff, and the sheer fact that we're seeing it over and over again, problems with MPs that have got side hustles and got jobs on the side. Why is it not in law that if you're an MP, which is one of the most important jobs in the country, if you're an MP, you should just be an MP and you shouldn't have a job on the side? You're representing hundreds of thousands of constituencies. It's a hard job and it should require your full dedication. Why are we allowing MPs to have jobs on the side? It shouldn't be allowed. And if that was the case, you'd stop these idiots like Jacob Rees-Mogg even getting into government, because they can't survive on 80 grand a year. That's, as what was that famous thing that Boris Johnson said about the money he got paid from a newspaper on the side of his MP job? It's cattle feed.
Now, you are the Mayor of London. I checked this morning. I believe your salary is just short of £140,000. You have a massive job. You've just told me how dizzyingly exciting and challenging it is. And yet, you have a contract with a national newspaper worth £250,000 a year.
Chicken feed, yeah, okay.
Chicken feed.
Now, listen, let's be. Do
you think most people in London would regard it as chicken feed, particularly at a time of economic recession?
So it would stop these guys even getting into politics, and it would mean genuine people that care about this job would be the ones left in politics. But anyway, I'm babbling, but sadly, like I started the video with, this is not going to change public opinion. You know, it's not going to stop people voting for the Tories. I mean, the rich and the middle class in this country, they're not going to stop voting for the Tories. All they care about is their house price. But it's the working people that really pains me.
But you see, I'm a little bit biased because I like Boris Johnson. I think he's a good bloke, and I think he's doing the best he possibly can.
He's doing the best he can. He's doing the best he can, apparently. Yes. Do you know what? I can tell that I would really like this guy. He seems like a really nice, down-to-earth, friendly guy, and I'm sure if I spent an afternoon with him, had a cup of tea, chatted about football or whatever, we'd have a great time. He's a really nice guy, but when it comes to politics, he does not have a clue. And this is where the problem lies. He just takes his information from seeing Boris flap his hair and say, oh, you know, doing the best I can. It's not good enough. I mean, let's just go over some things from just like off the top of our head while I'm sitting here in the van, just the past year. So we've had the Owen Paterson stuff, and that was bad enough as it was, but let alone the Tory party trying to vote to change the law so they could save his job. I mean, how corrupt is that? Go further back, you've got Grinsill with ex-Prime Minister David Cameron trying to get government money, taxpayers' money, your money, to bail out the company that he works for. And then you've got Boris's donors that lavishly decked out his flat with sofas and wallpaper. This is all, you know, they're not doing this stuff out of the kindness of their heart. They want something in return. I'm sure they got a lovely little tax break from spending all that money on Boris's flat. Matt Hancock promoting his bit on the side to a job that she obviously wasn't qualified to do. The mere fact that people are working in government that are so simple-minded like Hancock, who actually thought that she wanted him for him and not the career advancement, it's a joke. And then, I mean, don't even get me started on bloody COVID the last year. The list is ginormous. The elderly people that unnecessarily died because of Boris's persistence with this herd immunity at the beginning of the pandemic, completely against all scientific advice. PPE contracts, the PPE that was delayed because they wanted to give those very lucrative contracts out to their mates, their donors, rather than the people that would actually get the job done. And exactly the same scenario for the 38 billion that was spunked on track and trace. It wasn't given to the company that would get the job done most efficiently, it was given to their mates. I mean, this is just off the cuff. I mean, this is not even getting into Tory cuts. Next time I pull over, let's get into the cuts. Right, so that was just what I can literally think off the cuff while I'm driving over the past year, but I wanted to pull over and just look up a few facts, basically for the whole of the Tory government since 2010, but these stats are from 2010 to 2019, because I don't want the pandemic murky in any of these stats, okay? This is just pure Tory policy. Alright, so let's take a little look at the cuts that the Tory government have done. So 400 police stations closed since 2010, 21,000 less frontline police officers. Since 2010 there's been a 150% increase in knife crime in the UK. Oh, I wonder why. I wonder why there's more crime when they've got rid of 400 police stations and 21,000 police officers. There's 10,000 less firefighters in the UK since 2010, 10,000 less medical staff, 43,000 NHS job vacancies unfilled. So that's how much they're understaffed in the NHS. They need an extra 43,000. It's mental. And you might think, well, you know, Brexit Britain, let's get British nurses trained up to do the job. Oh no, no. Tories took away the nursing bursaries, so now if someone wants to train to become a nurse, they've got to get themselves into 50 grand's worth of debt like the other uni students to get a job at the end of it that pays 25,000 a year. Absolute joke. 1 in 3 children in the UK live in poverty. That's 4 million. 1 million denied free school meals. That was the Marcus Rashford campaign. National debt has gone from 850 billion to 2.2 trillion since 2010. Like I say, 2019, nothing to do with the pandemic. Obviously the borrowing has gone far more in the last year. This is just 2019. More NHS privatisation. We're now seeing half of local GPs in the UK under US private companies. So the privatisation charge is going forward nicely with the Tories. Almost half of disability claimants who had benefits cut tried to commit suicide. That's a terrible stat. Some of these stats are awful. 185 extra deaths directly linked to Tory austerity cuts. Food bank usage has gone up 2,400% since 2010. Homelessness is up by 1,000%. Home evictions up by 300%. Well, there's a link there, isn't there? If home evictions are up by 300% and homelessness has gone up by 1,000%, we know where the problem is there, don't we? School funding is down across the board by 100%. Uni fees are up by 300%. 30% cuts to all government departments. 30% cuts to local councils, mainly in poorer Labour councils, which goes to show why more and more people in rundown councils, Labour-run councils, are starting to vote Tory. But it's the Tories that are specifically aiming those council cuts to Labour constituencies so they don't get in the shit. Oh my God, the corruption. It's just God awful. Half of local councils in the UK are close to bankruptcy. Half. 200,000 social council homes have been sold off since 2010. 1 million families currently on council home waiting lists. 36,000 teachers have left the profession since 2010. And this links in with 600,000 pupils are taught by unqualified teachers in this country, because what the Tories thought when the 36,000 teachers were leaving the profession, instead of thinking, well, you know, maybe we should make working conditions better for them, maybe we should pay them better, there must be some reason why they're leaving, they thought, no. In 2012, they decided to lower the bar, so you no longer have to be university educated to become a teacher. So we're getting unqualified teachers teaching our kids, because Tories don't want don't want better education for the working class, do they? Why would they want that? But he's doing his best, isn't he, Boris? He's doing his best.
I think he's a good bloke, and I think he's doing the best he possibly can.
Absolute joke, absolute joke. How can you continue voting for this lot? Like I said, I get it. If you're rich or you're middle class, you're worried about your house price going down. I don't like it, but there's a reason there why you're voting Tory. But it's the working people that I don't get, that are voting these guys in and making life hell for all of us in this country. Anyway. Till next time. That's a bit of a jolly one. Till next time, please let me know your thoughts. Comment down below. How can we get working people to finally bloody realise what these guys are about?